from the school of Tupac. I'm a rider. I'm a straight rider.
You don't want to mess
You don't want to what?
mess with me.
See, I'm not your average Negro.
Hold up. Taz, I want to ask you a question real quick.
Let's just keep it real, straight shot with no chaser. You know, being is nice, I'm gonna get a little bit rough.
It's about standing for justice, and if you scared,
I'm here for those who really believed in the American process, all of us.
you play with me if you want. Man, we don't stand for him. Who we? See, I'm not your average Negro.
Hold up.
Straight shot, no chaser. With your girl, Tesla Figaro, on the Black Effect Podcast Network.
Well, hello, everybody. Straight shot, no chaser family. Shout out to everybody in the comments. We are live. Straight shot, no chaser on the Black Effect Podcast Network. I am your host, Tesla Figaro. You are my co-host, my co-teacher, my straight shooter. I want to appreciate everybody for joining me on this particular show that is so critically important. I have Christy Williams here with Black History Saturdays. You guys have heard me talking about her over the years. She has been somebody that I have supported for a minute in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She also was one of the trainers for the Push the Line training that we did in Atlanta in 2022. She's had me come do some training for her in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So she's been the trainee, the trainer, and now just completely taking over the Black History Saturday space as the founder, creator of the idea. And so I wanted to give her, one, her flowers, and two, an opportunity to explain to you what Black History Saturdays is all about, how the program became. They've mentioned it on The View the other day. And so I wish they would have said her name. I'm working on that. But they talked about it, saying a lady, started Black History Saturdays because of, what was happening in her hometown, but not even just her hometown, the state of Oklahoma, which votes Republican in every single county. Christy took it upon herself to start this program. So we're going to give her an opportunity to explain it to you. And for those who want to join the show, I will be dropping a link if you have some questions for her, because we want to take some questions as well, which is why we're now doing this live show format. This will still be on the Black Effect Podcast Network on iHeartRadio, the audio version, but I have now invested in the software to be able to have you guys be my third panelist, my co-host, to be able to ask questions when we have great guests on like we do today. So welcome, Christy. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me. And I am so proud of you. I keep telling you that because I really mean it. All the things you accomplished and still doing, and just being that voice that we need for our people. You are amazing. You are powerful. And I'm just so glad to call you friend.
Thank you so much. Well, how did you start Black History Saturdays? Let's get straight into that. What happened in Oklahoma that made you say, we have to do something about this?
Yeah, so in Oklahoma, they passed this, our Governor Stitt, he passed this House Bill 1775 that restricts Black history from being taught in schools. And it's so vague, it doesn't even really give like specifics. So whenever a teacher may teach anything related to Black people, and if she gets told on, that teacher is in trouble and can lose her certification, he or she. And that has happened. Teachers have lost their jobs and losing their teaching certification. We also have banned over 100 books in Oklahoma. So if a teacher even requests a book like the narrative of Frederick Douglass or Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye, The Color Purple, How to Kill a Mockingbird, they're going to get fired. So this is the reality. And so I got pissed off about it. I did. And I just created my own space where we can teach Black history and learn some organizing skills from Push the Line training from you. And so that's what I did. I organized educators and started my own school from pre-K to adults. Tez, my youngest is 4 years old and my oldest is 90 years old. Mr. Tucker is 90 years old. Wow. And so I started out with 120 participants. Today I have 353 participants.
Wow.
Going into our third year of Black History.
Let's slow that down, because I love the numbers. I love the numbers, y'all. Y'all know I love them from all over the country. Let's get them numbers. Let's run them numbers back one last time. You started out with 120 what?
120 participants.
What does that mean? Does that mean they come every week? They come one time? They let's first kind of talk about the program. Is this I know it's every Saturday, but when people sign up, kind of like Push the Line, let me go give a shout out to that. We are rolling out Push the Line again. We're going to start it June 14th. It is a 5 module, if you will, 5 different courses that you take 2 hours each time. Now you can join a la carte. You can just pick up, one of the sessions, or you can stay for the whole program. The program is 10 hours. So before we talk about the participants, because I want to make sure we really put some context around that. Is it every Saturday it starts over? Is it a program they sign up for? What do you mean when you say participant? What does that mean?
So when I say participants, I mean, and we started out trying to do every Saturday, and it was a lot. So now I do the second Saturday of each month. And we've also added some evening classes because adults wanted more. But we do the second Saturday of each month. And this is a whole school day. When I say whole school day, breakfast is at 8:45. Class starts at 9:15. Lunch is at 12:30. Class ends at 2:45. I even have recess for the littles. So it is prepare to go to school.
Okay, so you push the line for real. So kind of like what we did. We started at 6. Yep. But do they get it all in one session, or does it continue on?
It continues on. We do this all year, by the way. It's not just something that we do Black History Month. We start in Black History Month. So we start there, but we don't end there. And so we are out December and January because of the holidays, but we use that time to plan and to write our curriculum. And again, we're writing our own curriculum, creating our own framework. So the teachers love that.
Maybe I'm slow, Christy. Maybe I'm slow. I got my helmet on. Let me, because I keep asking, I don't think I'm getting either. I'm slow or I'm not asking the question right. So what I'm asking is, when they sign up, so just like we'll Push the Line, we have 5 modules. They go in order. What I'm asking is this a program that I know it's once a month. Do you teach the same class every month, or does it compound is what I'm asking you? In June, is it, okay, we're going to cover these 3 leaders. In July, we're going to cover these 3 leaders. Do they have to attend all year, or is it you can pop in at any time and pick up where you left off? I'm trying to get a clear answer on, is this a program or is it due every single time? And you can kind of get in where you fit in, or are you teaching the same thing every month to different people? That's what I'm trying to get a clear answer on.
No,
in other words, is it like a semester, like a college semester, or is it a la carte class?
No, so it is a actual a class where we have a continuation. So these are the same people that come back every time.
Every month.
And we do have people that pop in. I don't, say no to people who want to come in June or July, but they just have to pick up where we're starting, right? They just have to pick up where we are. And so our teachers are really good about also giving them lessons that they've missed and things like that. So it is a continuation, and the curriculum is planned for the whole year.
Okay, so it is so just so we're clear, because I want, I'll be trying to, we got to make it real clear.
Yes.
Is it a 12-month program?
It is a 10-month program because we're out December and January, but for our educators, it's all year, all 12 months, because we use that time for planning, PD.
Okay.
So
your sis here want to help you on the marketing, so that way people can understand. It is, so when the question, so guys, let me just re-say it again so that people can understand. It is a 10-month program. Just like Push the Line is a 5, I won't say months. It's 5 modules, 5 classes to complete the program. Push the Line is 5 modules, all 2 hours apiece, a 10-hour program. So I know this has grown organically, so you haven't had to really market it. But the reason why I'm doubling on this, you've marketed locally, it just blew up. But the reason why I'm wanting to make sure we frame this is because, as you know, I'm always trying to teach and train. I want to make sure people understand what this program is when you say participants, because that's huge, Christy, that you have 120 people that started to 300 plus that signed on to a 10-month program. That's critically important. You don't want to just market it like, oh, you know, it's just something on Saturday, because there's classes where you just teach the same thing every single Saturday, or there's classes that have a you know, but your curriculum is a 10-month curriculum. Now people can come in, get in where they fit in, but the idea is that somebody goes once a month and, you know, do a 10-month program.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the teachers that come the other 2 months. We're talking about a 10-month program, because I want people to Christy, to sign up for the duration of it. And so this is why we have to be clear, as I'm helping you market this out nationally, like Tiffany's asking, is there curriculum to purchase? Yes, we're working on that. Also, people ask, is it online? Yes. As I'm rolling out my training, and Christy will be a part of that. So I just want you guys to know that, yes, it will be online. Yes, there's curriculum to purchase. She's getting that stuff together. And by the way, while we're here, please donate to Black History 918. If you want to watch the show live, for Instagram that's listening right now, go to the link in the bio to watch it live, because that's important. I want you to drop your comments there so Christy can see what you're saying as well. So again, just to recap, you're probably saying, why you spend so much time on that? It's important. It's very important. And I also want Christy, because I want her to market her program nationally. It is a 10-month program where people come once a month, but you can also come at any time within that 10 months and pick up where you left off. So I just wanted to make sure we understood what that meant. And so you started out with 120, now you're up to 300 that sign up to participate in this 10-month program, correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
And you know why that's important also, Christy, again, why I'm doubling down on that, and why I want you to make sure when you're talking about that to other media, people don't sign up for 3-month programs. A semester at a college is 3-4 months. Put a 5 in the chat if y'all agree. A semester in college is 3 or 4 months. So to have 300 plus people that sign up for a 10-month program to learn Black history, that says a whole lot about our need, about our desire to want to know our history, and says a lot about the program that you built. So flex that. Don't just say, we just do it on Saturdays. And no. This is a 10-month program, long enough to have a baby. Amen. 5 in the chat. It takes 9 months to go from having a fetus, an idea of a child, we had a good night at home, and now I'm impregnated, to actually birthing a child. So you gotta lead with that. We're making sure what is about Black history. It's a 10-month curriculum, that people sign up to attend once a month, every Saturday. However, you can jump in at any time.
Yes.
Because you're going to learn something at any time, whether you jump. That's the same thing with Push the Line. You're going to learn something, whether you come in at the We Are Soldiers. Now, the Push the Line program, and the reason why you're probably saying, why am I doubling this? Because Christy's one of our trainers. So we're using this time to, market both. You can come in on We Are Soldiers, or you can come in on Show Me the Money. Either way, you're going to learn something, but the Push the Line program absolutely builds. It's very important that you build. Now, I would guess, Kristen, you correct me if I'm wrong, the Black History Saturday is not necessarily build, meaning you don't have to know what you knew before. You can come in at module 4, 5, 10, 11, but what would be the benefit of them staying for all 10 months?
The benefit of them staying for all 10 months is just learning things that you did not know. And Tess, what I really love about Black History Saturdays, not just because I founded it, but because it's a family thing. So, I don't have any drop-offs. There's no parents dropping off kids. And the way we built our curriculum is, so like the first 3 months, the curriculum is on Africa. And so every family is learning about Africa, but just on different levels. Because now keep in mind, when they come in, we are breaking them up by grades, right? So we have educators for each grade. But everyone is learning about Africa. So on the way home, mom can say, what did you learn today? And they're going to talk about what they learned, but it's going to be something that mom did not know, so now there's a whole nother learning session that is happening. And so that's one of the things that I love. But what people gain by doing the whole 10 months is you're in a space where you're with your community. Right. One of our the city councilor, Vanessa Harper, who she's an educator there. So now the kids get to see the people who are working in their community. And not only are they also learning about the past, but they're learning about things that are happening in their own communities as well. I even have a chef come in, Tez, who actually cooks a meal. They cook breakfast and a lunch, but the lunch, I've always made sure that everyone has an opportunity to taste something like they've had African food from the Caribbean.
Oh, wow.
So they're having a Black history lesson through their food. And so before they even eat, and sometimes while they're eating, the chef will come out and give a history lesson about what it is that they're eating.
Oh, wow.
So
wait, hold on, let's pause there because that's fun. So when you say history lesson on what they're eating, are they picking a certain meal that only has a significance to it? Like, in other words, it's not just cheeseburgers and fries for lunch. They're actually creating something that has some history to it.
Absolutely. So even like the months where we've had chicken, they're talking about chicken, and how we've created all these recipes.
I know y'all got chicken.
We got chicken.
It ain't never gonna be a lot.
Yes.
And I'm saying this because Marcellus love eating the greens. I don't know one thing Marcellus wants to do is get their free plate. So I wanted to pause for Marcellus to make sure we get some information. He want to know what y'all cooking over there. So
hey
Marcellus, he in the chat. So whatever meal it is, that too is a lesson.
That's a lesson. And we have a food bank here in Tulsa where I could have got free sack lunches for everybody. But I said, no, I want to do this with quality and do it the right way. And so that's what we've done. And we've been doing this as our 3rd year. And I have families that have been there with me since day one. And they are so excited about, what they've learned. And one of the things, there's this kid, his name is Trip, and his mother's Tracy Gibbs. He didn't want to come because what kids do want to get up early on Saturday morning, right? But she got his butt up and said, you go on, especially you 11th grade in high school. But he said now that he started going, he loves it. And so now he's 11th grade.
You talking about no kid. He ain't no kid. No, that's important. I think that's important. Again, another flex.
Yeah.
I want you to flex certain things. You're so humble. And so your sister here just trying to give you certain things. Because I do understand we say no kid want to get up. Yeah, but when you said it, I'm thinking about somebody wanting to watch cartoons. I think it's even more of a flex when you talk about a 15, of course, he's a kid to us, but he's a full teenager. What 15, 16-year-old, I would assume he's 11th grade, probably 16. What 16-year-old want to get up on a Saturday and not hang out with their friends? So that's this is important, Chrissy, as you expand this, the things to brag on or not brag on, because when you say, his mama said, no, you're going to get up, I immediately thought about an adolescent, but his mama really, at the end of the day, a 16-year-old, that's a lot, he kind of damn near grown. So one, for his mother to have influence over him still says a lot.
Yes.
They give up at a certain age. When they get a certain age, do what you're going to do. Had influence a lot. And then for him to go and then be captured by it. When he's doing so many other things as a young Black teenage boy is huge. So when you tell that story, make sure that you're saying a teenager, because that's a different, just let you know how it landed with me. When I hear a kid, I'm thinking, young, forcing, totally different than because Jada's 17. She makes her own schedule. She does her own thing. I don't make her do anything. So I think that's huge.
Yeah, it is huge, and and Tripp has said, now when my teachers, he said when I'm in history class, I have a whole different perspective of history, and I'm able to challenge them also in that history. And so, he's just said I would never known a lot of things had I not been at Black History Saturdays. And so that's a good thing, and we're giving kids more reading skills too, at Black History Saturdays, and then we're teaching them storytelling, which is huge. At the end of the day, we go in the cafeteria. Everybody meets in the cafeteria. And I pick 2 people to share from each class what they learned. And so that helps them being able to stand up in front of a crowd and talk about what they learned. Their storytelling. I don't realize that they're doing it. But it's really a great program. I have a lot of fun doing it. This Saturday is Black History Saturdays. So working hard to get that going for this Saturday. And I can't wait to see all the folks that come, and they love coming. And like I said, we even started having, we're actually start in May, but we're going to have evening classes at my church, Historic Vernon AME Church, the church whose basement survived the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. And so we'll be having more evening classes there. And that's another flex test when you have people saying we want more and they want to learn more. And so we're going to definitely be doing that, and then streaming those classes and having some guest teachers come in to do a Black history lesson as well.
Oh, wow. Now tell us about your connection to the Tulsa Race Massacre, and because you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but you're not just in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a part of your story. Tell us about that.
Yes, so I'm a descendant of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre and a Creek Freedman descendant as well. My great aunt Janie was in the Dreamland Theater when the massacre happened at 17 years old, and she was able to escape. And so I've been knowing her stories till the day she died. I was in the 6th grade when she passed away. And we thought she was crazy. She used to, she never called it a riot or a massacre. She called it that time when white people were killing Black people in Tulsa. And we used to think she was crazy, my sister and I and my cousins. But one day I was at home. I was in high school or just coming out of high school, and the news was on, and I saw Johnny Cochran and Charles Ogletree on the news, and I seen these survivors telling their stories, and I said, that's what Aunt Janie said. And so ever since then, I always wanted to learn more and be an advocate for Greenwood. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And so that is my connection to Greenwood. And when I say I'm a Creek Freedman descendant, a lot of people don't know the 5 civilized tribes here in Oklahoma own slaves. And that kind of blows people's minds when you talk about that. But my great-great-grandfather, Jesse Franklin, came on the Trail of Tears as a slave to the Creek Nation. We were emancipated June 14th, 1866, got a whole different Juneteenth than the Juneteenth that we celebrate nationally. But he also was appointed to serve as Supreme Court Justice to the Creek Nation in 1874. So I have a deep roots, not only in Greenwood, but in Black Oklahoma history, as we call it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about Oklahoma history, and that the flag is a Native American flag, and that it's heavy, Native American ancestry and all of that. And you do it. Let's talk with Chrissy. Look, like she ain't no fighter or nothing. She's so sweet and got a little sweet voice, but Chrissy really be putting it down for real. Because you done fought a lot to make sure that Black Creek has voice. Tell us a little bit. I just want people to just know a little bit about that, like some of the challenges you've had to, that you've advocated for, that you called me on my phone about, on making sure, that people don't forget, that a lot of the Native Americans owned slaves, and what that looked like for the descendants of Black Creek to have access to Native American benefits, which is different than when we talk about. Because when I invited you to rep race around, I was like, Chris, everybody don't know about the Native, like they literally don't know what you're talking about, because if you're not from that part of the country, they don't know what you're talking about. So we have the reparations, and I want you talking about that, the committee that you're working on up there. But then there's a whole nother conversation on Native Americans who owned slaves, which means they became Creek because of their slave master. Just give people a little bit of knowledge on that.
Yeah, so and that's a whole nother history lesson in it. But when we talk about the 5 civilized tribes, there's the Creek, Cherokee, the Chickasaw, the Seminole, and I'm missing one. Creek, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Seminole, and Chickasaw. That's how I already say it.
Okay.
But anyways, 5 of them, and they call them the 5 civilized tribes. They call them civilized because they sided with white supremacy, and they owned slaves. We, again, as I talked about the Creek Nation, we were emancipated June 14th, 1866, which means that we became Creeks. We actually became members of the tribes. And then a few years later, on the Dawes Rolls, they allotted land. Each family got 160 acres of land.
So just to be clear, not born Native American, became Native, like if you married into a family, if you will.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
okay.
And then you got 160 acres of land. And if you had a family of 12, even if it was for a little baby, everybody got 160 acres of land. And on a lot of that land was oil. So, which made a lot of Black folks wealthy. Everybody went to see the movie Killer of the Blood Flower Moon, and they showed the Osage women who were raped and killed for their land, but it happened to a lot of Black people too. And so that story just hasn't been told. But as far as the Creek Nation, we were kicked out of the tribes in 1979. So we lost everything. And so as we're talking about reparations, we're talking about reparations.
Pause right there, going fast. Why were you kicked out of the tribe in 1979?
Basically because they didn't want to share the pie.
Okay.
Yeah, they wanted the money to themselves that they were getting, and they didn't want to share it. So basically, they kicked us out. And so there have been lawsuits to try to get us back into those tribes. The Cherokee Nation, about 4 years ago, they actually won their case. And so those Black Cherokees are now they're Black Cherokees. And so and a lot of them don't even really know what that means. Now you have a lot of Black people who are just happy that they don't have to pay their car tags. They can go get health care, which those things are important, but they get $25,000 to go to school, for college. They get $25,000 on a home. That is a lot of money.
Is that one of your modules that you teach?
We talk about freedmen. And when we say freedmen, we're talking about freedmen of the tribes, because now there's two different meanings of that. So like when you say Black Creeks, there are Black Creeks that are in the tribe because they were actually born. They either have, and if you can prove that it's actually one of your family members, we like to say the blood rule, but we don't go by that. You go by the treaty. When you go by the blood rule, you're going to be trying to forever try to prove this. It's impossible to prove how much blood you have, right? It's just too much. But you go by the treaty because the treaty says that, you are a citizen of this tribe. If you were born into it, or you're a freedman.
Yeah.
And so there's two different things. So you can be a freedman of the tribe, which the freedmen are trying to get back into the tribe of the Creek Nation. But Black Creeks already are members of the tribe because they have proven that either their mother or father, someone was Creek by blood, and you can prove that.
But not Creek by blood, but not by blood, but like by slave ownership, right?
If you were a member by slave ownership, you are considered a freedman.
Okay, got you. So this is why when I merged you in the reparations conversation and they were talking about freedmen, they weren't talking about the same freedmen you're talking about. They were talking about, and that's why I was like, Chrissy, they getting confused. Like you got to have something just on that because it's not a huge population. One that people even know they're a part of, or that it was, that's connected to tribe. And then also within the small population it's not a lot of Christies. So when you're using that language, freedmen and free, it was kind of going up, it's a whole, and that maybe that's the one we need to do on my platform, my training platform, to just explain you know,
Yes.
the differences between the two, because a lot of people just don't know. And if you're using these words that are interchangeable, you hear freedmen a lot, freedmen a lot. A lot of people in the reparations movement said that's what the name should be, but they're talking about the descendants of those enslaved, not specifically what you're talking about, you know, of the Creek Nation. And that's critically important.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It was something I was going to ask with that. And guys, if you got a question, put a 3 up and I'll drop the link. If you got a question, it was something I was going to ask about that though, about, that was a statement I was going to make. This is critically important, not to be divisive between indigenous people, but this is critically important because shout out to my sis who mother is Native American. I don't know what tribe she's from. She's Black and Native American. Queen is on my Instagram all the time. I interviewed her before on Straight Shot No Chaser. And there's this conversation that, you know, Native Americans and Blacks were hand in hand and loving on each other, and we kind of the same, and you know, lift all both times. And that might be true in some instance, but what you're talking about wasn't Black folks got put out. They did not want you to have it. It was all good until it came down to sharing those resources. Am I understanding that correctly? I think she froze up on me.
That definitely is not the case. And the Chickasaw were notorious. They treated their slaves the worst.
Chrissy, you completely froze up. So start over.
Okay. Oh, I was saying, you know, you're right that it was not a kumbaya type moment or thing. As we were coming on the Trail of Tears, I was taught in Oklahoma history that like we came as kumbaya, right? But no, that was not the case. Black folks was actually building the trail on the Trail of Tears for them to walk through, to walk on. But as I was saying, when we talk about this, you know, how they treated their slaves, the Chickasaw was one of the worst. They identified their slaves by removing digits on your toes or your fingers. So if you had a thumb missing, they knew who you belonged to, or if your pinky toe was missing, they knew who you belonged to. And you can read the Oklahoma slave narratives. A lot of it is free online. The other book you'd have to buy, but you can read the stories of these people who were recorded like in the 1930s and 40s that tell the stories of being slaves to the tribes. So these stories exist. A lot of people just don't know about it. A lot of Black Oklahoma history, a lot of people just don't know. And that's why I said,
Oklahoma. Yeah, nobody talking about Oklahoma. I mean, that's
right.
I'd be like, Chris, you got to break this down because everybody don't know what you're talking about. Yes. They really, even in Oklahoma, yes, don't know what they're talking about. And this is why it's important, you know, what you're doing. I'm dropping, if anybody have any questions, and this is, if you come on, I need you to ask the question, you know, just go straight to asking the question. I want to be respectful of Chrissy's time. Any questions about the program, if you are in position to support, I do have the Cash App here, Cash App Black History 918. $5, $10. It is a nonprofit program. National Geographic does support the program. The program is free to those that attend in Tulsa. She does not charge people to come. So it is an absolute free class. So that's important, guys, that people know that. But again, we can't just expect everything to just keep being free. You know, we have to, I'm being very honest. And what I'm telling you this personally, I want to help Chrissy expand the program over the country. And I do want her to have other income sources coming in because the reality of it is, no, there's not a Zelle link. People have to give out their numbers on Zelle. Y'all love being on Zelle, but people, when y'all in these public formats, guys, people don't really give out their Zelle because it has to give out their phone number or, you know, their email address. You have a way to donate on the website, correct? It's www. What, Black History Saturdays with an S.com?
Black History Saturdays with the S.com. Yeah, and you can donate there as well.
Right. So go to Black History Saturdays with an S.com if you want to donate through that link. But I do want her to expand the program because it's important to have other streams besides us having to depend on large organizations. Because what happens is, and y'all just getting information now, what happens is if we have if we're 100% dependent upon other organizations, then what happens if that organization decide they don't want it anymore?
True.
And that means we don't have the program. So this is on the 3 things that I keep telling y'all about: save, stack. Remember, the third one is secure the permit. But I also talk about securing our nonprofits, securing organizations that matter, securing podcasts you care about, securing. And a part of that is through donation. And I want to give another tidbit, because y'all get training with me, not just no podcasts. To the sister that asked about Zelle, I really do. This is important, guys. I really do want you guys, if we are going to, really try to secure our organizations, I do want you guys to consider. I know a lot of people may not like Cash App because maybe you say, the security of it or the issue. But guys, I really want you to secure it, to have another way to send people payments. And Cash App is usually the way, or Vimo. A lot of people don't use Vimo, but that's important, guys, because if everybody say, well, do she have a Zelle? Do she have a Zelle? Then nobody's going to get any donations, because most people, I'm just telling you, when they're on these national programs, they're not, because even the sister's still asking for a Zelle link. No, baby, ain't no Zelle. You have to go to the website if you want to pay that way. But I want you guys to consider other ways of supporting people besides needing their personal information, like an email or a number. My Zelle is connected to my email. I don't want my personal email out there, because then I will get flooded. You got to think about when people are on national platforms. They don't want the people flooding them with their personal email. They don't want people having their numbers. So Zelle, again, y'all always gonna get training. Zelle is for you giving money to your friends, within your circle and your folks and all of that. Supporting organizations, you have to use other resources like PayPal, like QuickBooks, like Cash App, like Vimo. It's the reason why people use the Cash App, guys, because it's the simplest way to give. It's the easiest way to give, and most people have it. So please consider that if you want to be in the business of trying to figure out how we can support our organizations. Because I see that a lot, Christy, when I see, on different platforms and people saying, well, is there a Zelle? People keep asking about Zelle. That's for your own internal, communications with friends and maybe stuff like that. So please consider Cash App, guys, because I want to help Christy really expand this program. And again, you can go to the website, www.blackhistorysaturdays.com. So
Yes.
we'll take a question from Lovey, and Lovey, just get straight to the question, sweetheart. I want to be respectful of her time. And if anybody else has a question, click the link at the bottom. I'll put the link again at the bottom to ask a question, and then we'll get out of here. So go ahead, Lovey. What's your question? I don't think I can hear you. You may not have your volume on.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
My mic's not on. You can't hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my question is, first of all, I love what you do. Shout out to my wife, Tez. You'll know, Chris, that's my wife right there. Shout out to my wife, Tez. But, Chris, I love what you do. I'm a son of a Black Panther. I have a quick question. It's a 2-part question. Is this is available online? This is a course that I could push to. I've mentored a lot of fathers. I think this would be important for them to hear your word. Is this something I could push online, that you push online?
Yes, and actually, the second Saturday in May, we will be kicking off our online versions as well. So there'll be more. I mean, so many opportunities for you to click in online, so everyone can, have some lessons in Black history.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, I think it's dope, and we can move in that number. We're trying to get to 300 to 3,000 to 300,000 with the power of Tez and I. So we're gonna keep moving that needle. Because something my mother told me, I always refer to my mom because she was a Black Panther. She told me one thing, that she thinks segregation was the worst thing to happen to us. But she also just tapped into me and said she thinks that by the force of hand of the president that is forcing us back into segregation.
Yeah.
I
A lot of
absolutely
people,
agree.
a lot of people think that segregation was the best thing. Like, keep us over here and y'all go over there. That's what the Native American did. They segregated, got their own land, got their own, they're still within America, but still got their own, own thing.
Yeah.
So right now, it's definitely, thanks for your question, Lovey. It's definitely forcing people to have to network and be of community in ways they have never been before. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to make us really have to connect in ways that we haven't before. And what I'm hoping that it's not just how stuff happens in spikes, that people feel really good and then they go back to business as usual. So I'm hoping that this is something that we can continue on. And as far as online, she's rolling out online, but also within the Push the Line online training program that we're kicking off in June. Christy will be a part of that as a trainer for one of our organizers on how to organize these types of things. Yes. Because I see people asking, can I teach it myself? Is it something I can curriculum? And guys, I'm going to say this, and I'm saying it respectfully as possible. It's a reason why, I know people think they can just duplicate, what somebody else does, and Chrissy's handing out their curriculum so people can know. But guys, try to invest in or participate in what she's doing, because the knowledge that they have, the institutional knowledge that they have, the information that they have, you may not have. I know we always say, well, we can just teach it ourselves, or that happened with COVID. Yeah, but you don't know everything the teacher do. You just don't. You're not knee deep in it on a daily basis. I can give you a curriculum and say, teach people the 5 things that you, matter of fact, I'll use Push the Line as an example. These are the 5 things that you need to do to start your campaign. The information I'm giving you, you can find online. It's no secret. It's not like, okay, it's going to say, open up a website, start a website, open up a bank account. But the knowledge that you're going to get from me and from other experts, we're going to tell you, hey, but when I opened up that bank account, this is what I learned. Look out for this, look out for that. So guys, connect with the actual teachers. It's a reason, why you have people who are knee deep in this stuff that's going to give you information that you may not otherwise know. So for those of you that are saying, oh, is it a curriculum that I can learn? I'm cautioning Christy on that. Making sure that as she's giving that information out, we do want you to run with it on your own, because Chrissy just like that. She want to run with it on. She want everybody to sign up online, get it. But I also want to make sure that we're educating people properly, and that that you're getting the information from being in the classroom. So when they do the online, gather your family around, have people around, learn it. Learn what the teachers, it's called train the trainer. I train Christy, she training y'all, she gonna train somebody else. We must be okay with knowing what we know and knowing what we don't know.
Absolutely.
So I want to be clear about that, because a lot of people have asked for the curriculum. Oh, let me just learn it. Well, no, you would need to learn everything in her head in order to teach it the way she taught it. So respect the gift, respect the craft, and more importantly, let's teach our babies the right way. And that comes from your expertise. So
absolutely. And Tess, one thing that I really want to stress to people, because a lot of Black folks don't really get it or understand how critical this is. There's 18 other states that has the same or similar legislation that right now Oklahoma has, where they're restricting or just completely banning Black history from public schools. And then also just between 2023 and 2024, there was 10,000 books that were banned, and that tripled the number than it was the year before. And so in the books,
breaking news, it's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get worse. And the books that they are banning are majority all Black books, right? Any book that has to deal with race or gender, they're just banning. And what's in those books? Our stories. That are in these books. And so we're going
you have a banned book library, right?
Yes, I have a banned book library where I started my own library where community can come in and check out banned books. Even at my church, what I started, we have Reverend Francetta, Reverend I.E. Martin at the historic Vernon AME Church. They and Lisa Wolf, she does our Sunday school, but they started a banned book library. I mean, a banned book club. So they pick a banned book and everybody reads the banned book. And so there are things like that I think that communities can do in response to that as well. But I'll say if these banned books, y'all need to buy these books up, and keep them at home. It's just, and what happened with the National Park Service and the Smithsonian, these are things that are telling us that we got to start preserving our history and learning it. And if you don't learn it, you don't even know what they're doing to it if you're not, equipped with that knowledge to know. So we have to learn our history. It's so important.
Yeah,
it's critically important.
Ebony's asking, is there a cost for each person to participate? That's the whole thing. She does it for free. But I'm telling you now, I'm changing that. I need her to have another source. So don't even answer the question. I'll answer this question, Christy, because you'll start saying, I'm just going, no. That's why we sit over here broke now, from keep free. Everybody want the information. Everybody want to take the information. Everybody want to give. But again, the program she offers in Tulsa in person is free. But I'm working with her on and even on the streaming she's doing is free. But again, we need another way of another source. I do not want it completely dependent upon National Geographic. I just don't. So to answer your question, Ebony, what I'm trying to do with her on my platform is, yes, like a couple of hours, whatever it is, whatever, it might be $25. It might be something very small, but at least it's putting something, back into the actual program. And I encourage people to sit around, like 5 of y'all sit around and put it on the TV, and watch it, or put it on the, interactive. So to answer your question, Ebony, I'm working on that with her, but she does have free, it's, free every Saturday, and the streaming is going to be free. But again, I'm just telling you in front of everybody, because I'm definitely gonna call you back when I get off the phone. You offering this streaming free over and over and over, Chrissy, I do have concern with that, because if you're asking people to donate out of the kindness of their heart, I'm just telling you they may not. And I know that's a part of your work, just wanting to give it away for free, but I am dead ass, and I'm just saying this, I am appreciative of National Geographic giving you the money and the resources. But as you know, you don't have to say it. I'll say it for Christy. The money is limited. It's not that much. And again, we do not want to just depend on National Geographic to fund a Black program. So we have to get more creative and make things kind of make sense. So if you attend the free streaming that she's doing, please donate. She's not going to ask. I'm asking. I'm asking, donate, because if not, guys, this is why they can stop and start everything we're doing, because they control the money. Mm-hmm. They control the money. So Ebony, I hope that answered your question. It is absolutely free. And I'm saying that as somebody had to learn it my own way, Christy. Everything I've done has been free training, unless they're a client of mine. We got to stop that. We have to stop that, because at the end of the day, the program doesn't grow. We don't get the people that we need to participate to be a part of it. Yeah. We're taking the hits, Christy putting her name out here, first and last name, where everybody else, going under fake names and, get to hide, and Christy can't get no job nowhere. It's a real thing. She used to have her Instagram under a different name because she didn't want a job to see what she was doing. She literally just changed it a couple of weeks ago when I rolled her out national. I was like, Christy, people got to be able to find you, and they can't find you under these 4 and 5 different names. Hot dog, potato salad, 892. They got to be able to find you. Put a 5 in the chat if you appreciate this real game I'm giving you. So see, y'all get to go by, and I'm just looking at the comments. Lips galore, culture, just looking at the name, Ebony Jones, that sounds like a real name. Evan Weber, but Mills Coop, all of that. Y'all get to go under different names, which I appreciate. But who's taking the hit? Christy Williams and Teslin Figaro, meaning not going to get another job. People that don't want to hire you. People that say, no, you're going to be a problem on the job. People that say, hey, we don't want you around here. People that literally go out their way to destroy your programs. So what I'm asking is, if we're going to if people like us are going to be out here front lining it, taking the hit, then be like on the Verizon commercial and be in the background supporting us, guys. It's really, really important. It's really, really important, because it's only so much you can continue to keep asking people to do for free. It really, really is. So guys, follow Christy. She's on my Instagram. Is Christy, is it _Williams_ Black? What's your Instagram?
It's Christy Williams. Christy _Williams. Yes.
But it's something else after that. It's not just Christy Williams.
It's
Let me go look at it.
I literally just changed it, like Tez just said.
Yeah.
Just
Christy,
changed
_Williams_Black_history.
Mhm.
And if you can't find it, it's in my stories. She's on my page. She's on our Revolt News page. If not, hit Marcellus up. He'll give you the information. But again, we'll be rolling her out in our programs. I want to help what I can do to share my platform, to make this something national. But again, I don't want to work Chrissy to death either. She has 55 jobs, in addition to this. She feeding people, full programs, guys. And I'm just telling you straight up, she needs the resources, in order to be able to do it. But you get to be a part of it. You're not just giving and not getting anything. If you go pay $50 for one of those classes, $25 for one of those where they make the mugs and the symmetric classes and cook classes, those little classes, people, $25 and $25, it's no different. Y'all pay it to the white folks, give it to Chrissy. So she's able to do this 10 months for free for people with 300 people in the room. I want to see her be able to have some revenue come in, so that way if the company doesn't want to fund her in the 4th year, she can continue to do the work, guys. So thank you so much, Christy, for coming on. I appreciate you. I hope, guys, we were able to answer your questions. Please replay this, share this YouTube interview, and also it will be on the Black Effect Podcast Network, the audio version for those of you that love just audio only. And thank you for tapping in. Thank you so much, Christy. Expect to see more of Christy. I honored her last month of Black History, for Women's History Month. So you're going to continue to see me supporting her. Thank you to all my supportive folks in the comments. Lovey, Marcellus, as usual, Lips Galore. I do see you a lot in the comments, so I appreciate you and all of you guys that rock with me. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep using this YouTube channel. We're going to keep getting the digital discipline. Everybody else on the Black Effect is on YouTube and the audio. I've kind of been the only one that haven't utilized my YouTube, and I'm changing that because, again, we want to make sure that we're growing. And right now, more than ever, we need these resources out to the public, guys. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and we'll tap in next week.
Thank you.